I think he's missed that. He has. Yeah, 6-2. Good for Ruud. Well, that was fun. Welcome, by the way, to Rybakina and Kartal fans. Alcaraz this time doesn't miss. He is through to the next round with a very, very, very impressive performance. 6-1, 7-6 over Casper Ruud. In that first set, Carlos Alcaraz hit some heights that I'm not sure even I've seen before on a tennis court. He got a 9.7 rating for his performance in that first set. Maybe he dropped a little bit in the second set, but either way, he does progress. Straight sets, extending his advantage over Casper Ruud in the head-to-head. Just one loss for Carlos in his career against Casper. That was at the ATP Finals in 2024. But yeah, Carlos Alcaraz is going to be playing Cam Norrie in the next round. Shall we look forward to that Cam Norrie match? Oh, Elena Rybakina is up an early break on Kartal, by the way. So Djokovic coming up against Jack Draper later on. That'll be live on the channel, of course. But Alcaraz, once again, proving who is the king of the desert. By the way, king of the predictions. Hello? Hello? Are you paying attention, people? 6 out of 6 now today. Oh, yeah, there was that Rio final that Norrie won. Big call, John. Yeah, and she's down a break as well. Just a smiley face from Carlos there. Okay, let's look forward to Carlos Alcaraz against Cam Norrie in the next round. It's a quarterfinal between two former champions. Carlos Alcaraz winning the title on 2 occasions, 2023 and 2024, before losing in the semifinals last year to Jack Draper. His overall performance rating against Casper Ruud today, 9.5. So I think Cam Norrie is going to have to bring it and bring it big style in the next round. And so good was he at the net today, by the way, Carlos. And it's a part of his game, given that the forehand is massive, given that he's made huge improvements to his serve, given that probably the return is arguably the best in the world, and the backhand is meaty. The touch at the net is something that we don't always talk about. So, yeah, it's another facet to his game, and just what a player, the world number one. I think he's going to be world number one for a while yet, albeit that, of course, he does have points to defend a lot during the clay court season, but he's got a nice margin at the moment over Jannik Sinner, albeit that Jannik, of course, has lots of points to make up in the coming weeks because, of course, this time last year he was suspended. But that is for another time. Cam Norrie, by the way, he came through against Rinki Hichikata today. And before that, he beat McDonald in the round of 64 and Alex de Minaur. Alex de Minaur was the big one. That was a very impressive win. And by the way, could have been even more comfortable than 6-4, 6-4 because he was up 6-4, 5-2 and was serving for it. But Norrie got one of the, de Minaur got one of the breaks back. But then today, Rinki Hichikata, yeah, comfortably the better player. And I don't think it was a huge surprise that he won. Alcaraz, by the way, has come through against Dimitrov and Rinderknecht. The score against Rinderknecht was redlining in the first set and won the tie break. And yeah, I think there were some concerns. I think he was maybe even down a break right at the beginning of the second set in that one, Alcaraz, but ultimately prevailing in 3 sets to set up the match he had today with Casper Ruud, which I've already mentioned how good he was, winning 6-1, 7-6 to set up this Cam Norrie quarterfinal. Now, the question is, Cam Norrie, Carlos Alcaraz, head-to-head. Well, you might be thinking, I'm not sure if Cam Norrie's ever beaten Carlos Alcaraz before. Well, let me tell you, you're in for a surprise, because the head-to-head is 5-3. So 3 times Cam has got the better of him. There is one of the 3 victories, I think it's fair to say, has an asterisk by it. And I'm talking about the one in Rio, where Alcaraz was on one leg and still managed to push it to 3 sets in terms of where he was at health-wise. The one that probably many forget is the 2022 one in Cincinnati, because there was the one in Paris-Bercy at the back end of last year, and it was obviously quite recent. Alcaraz was really cruising in that one and somehow lost. But Alcaraz at Paris-Bercy. By the way, Alcaraz unbeaten for the year, don't forget. He might well be passing Rafa Nadal's unbeaten record at some point from 2022. I say it's not the best unbeaten record we've seen on the ATP Tour. I think, was it 41 from Djokovic maybe in 2015? But Nadal has recently had the first, I think he went 22 matches of the year. Well, Alcaraz is currently at 7 in Australia, of course, and then 5 in Qatar. So Carlos Alcaraz is at 12, 13, 14, 15. So he's going to have to probably come close to doing the Sunshine Double, if not get the Sunshine Double, in order to surpass Rafa's point. But anyway, that's a topic for a different day. Alcaraz, Cam Norrie, head-to-head. Let's get back to that. Yeah, the one in Cincinnati is the one that I think many might forget. Certainly I do. Shall we listen to Carlos, by the way? Regarding his win over Casper Ruud.
Yeah, I mean, the distance was difficult to be honest. Really hot here. And I think this tournament is one of the tournaments that we can feel more the difference between playing night session or day session. I think
talking about day and night session, big difference. Yeah. Be interesting to see if he plays Cam Norrie night or day. But I think he likes the day.
I think we played great. Both of us. My first set I think was playable. To be honest, I was really happy about playing that kind of level. So let's see. Just really happy to get through and hopefully playing this level in the next round.
You played fantastic, and I know we say this a lot about you, but you and Casper had some fun exchanges at the end of the match. How do you find that balance between that joy and that intensity so often?
Well, I think I can have fun, I can enjoy, but at the same time, I can turn my mind, and be focused again. So I just try to play, my best tennis in every point. I'm just really trying to be focused on that. But when a point is it decides to smile, to appreciate that, to enjoy it. I mean, I gotta do that. It doesn't matter if it comes from my side or comes to the opponent side. But I think that's what happened today. That Casper plays at a great point, and then I had to enjoy that as well. So I think that means that we both love tennis.
Fantastic match again. Congratulations, Kartal.
Both of them love tennis. Well, so does Cam Norrie love tennis. So, just looking ahead to that match, as I say, day and night session. Just responding. Just funny because I wanted to hear if he was being asked a question in English, but he wasn't. It was in English. Oh, wonderful. We have a new member, by the way, here. Great that you've joined us, Ella Annie 3496. Welcome to the membership club. You will be able to get access to exclusive footage, and you'll also be able to use emojis in the live chat. But of course, you'll also be supporting the channel. So we do appreciate your membership. Welcome to the club. Back to the head-to-head, by the way, between Cam Norrie and Carlos Alcaraz. Yeah, the first 3 went the way of Carlos in 21 and 22, 2021, 2022. One of those was in Indian Wells, by the way, the quarterfinal in 2022. Alcaraz, of course, made the semis that year before losing to Rafa Nadal. I mean, Carlos in the desert. Think about this. 2022 semi-finals, 2023 winner, 2024 winner, 2025 semi-finals, 2026, at least the quarterfinal. But Cam Norrie in the desert, 2021 winner, 2022 quarterfinals, 2026 quarterfinals. He does like it there. So he has got some pedigree. Last year as well, he made the round of 32 before going down to Tommy Paul. 2024 round of 32 as well, going down to Gael Monfils. And 2023 quarterfinal, losing to Francis Tiafoe. So yeah, he gets lots of wins in the desert and tends to go deep, as he has done again this time. Looking at the matches, though, I think if we just park Rio to one side, okay, that one anomaly, all right? The Wimbledon win in 2025 that Carlos had in straight sets, yeah, very, very comfortable as the scoreline suggests. Paris-Bercy, absolutely deserved win, fantastic win for Cam Norrie, indoor hard, totally different at Indian Wells. Well, they have played at Indian Wells before, and that was in 2022, by the way. And I would say Carlos is a much better player today, although he was showing us incredible signs in that semi-final he had with Rafa. Wow. Never mind the run he had in Madrid to the title as well. It was going to produce a few weeks later. This was the sort of new Carlos. I say new Carlos, he'd only been on the tour for about a year, if not less. But there was a big difference between the 21 season and the 22 season. I remember when he turned up in Australia and seeing him play Berrettini across 5 sets, his only 5-set loss in his career, by the way. And that was a transformation then, just going into that Australian Open. I thought he was going to go far, but Berrettini had the better of him that day. But Cam Norrie, will he get the better of him here in the desert? No. Absolutely not. Carlos Alcaraz is winning in straight sets. All right, come and join me for Elena Rybakina against Sonay Kartal. By the way, it's 3 break. We can chill a little bit now with Kartal against Rybakina. We'll have Djokovic Draper as well later on. Kartal serving here at 1-3, so an early break for Rybakina. Just seeing a replay of Kartal trying to avoid touching the net with her t-shirt. I think she did touch it. We are at the sit down, by the way. I'm going to update this scoreboard because it does seem to be a little bit slow. I haven't seen the point. I've just seen the end of it in terms of her just trying to avoid touching the net with her t-shirt. Very funny. Okay, 4-1, by the way. This scoreboard is just one game behind. It's a double break for Rybakina. So 4-1 double break for Rybakina. 15 all. $15 all, double fault there from Rybakina. in the midst of all that excitement of Siniakova retiring against Svitolina and Alcaraz producing fireworks against Casper Ruud, I neglected my tea and it's gone a bit cold. Yeah, too good. 30 all. Mind you, we're going to get a break point here for Kartal. It's a nice slice return from her. Rybakina came into the net, but was easily passed. So we've got a break point here for Sonay Kartal. By the way, Kartal is one of my favorite players on the women's side. She's not quite at the favorite players to watch, and yeah, working class hero. Is Rybakina going to put this away? Yes, she is. Deuce. I think she's a lot of fun to watch, but also her story is a bit more interesting than most tennis players. We should have Rybakina's missed that forehand. We should have pity Jake's not here. She's, by the way, I think her father has got some Turkish blood. Doesn't get the headlines, of course, that Emma Raducanu generates. We've got a break back, by the way, for Kartal here. So 4-2. She at least came from a state school, which is pretty rare in top-level tennis. British tennis, at least. And she's not conventional. I say, especially when it comes to tennis. If you think about the Jack Draper route, if you like. So yeah. 30 love. Yeah, there is a place called Sid Cup. By the way, my ambitions of getting to 30,000 subscribers, I think we'll have to wait until Miami. We needed a semi-final run from Ayala to get there, I think. Here in Indian Wells. Another match would have helped, but semi-finals, I think, would have helped us get over the line. Okay, 3 game points here for Kartal at 40 love. Backhand return from Rybakina into the forehanded Kartal, but she hits the top of the net and bats back on her side, 40-15. Okay, so Kartal holds. She's got one of the breaks back as well. No match, I think, on Stadium 1 for the next hour before we have Draper against Djokovic. Oh, Kartal's going to get some medical attention here. Okay. She's just sort of... Maybe she's just a bit unwell. I don't know. She's in tears, is she? I don't see the tears, but you might be... You're a few seconds ahead of me, Ghosty, so you might be seeing a lot more. Might be nasal or... Oh, I see there's a bit more... Yeah, she's welling up now. Yeah, but yeah, she is emotional, yeah. Could be the back, therefore, yeah. Look and get some attention on the back. Quadratus. It looks like there's some discussions among her team. Yeah, especially in tennis. So we're just having a medical timeout here for Sonay Kartal. Rybakina is up a break. It's kind of interesting it's happening at this juncture as Kartal gets her teeth into the match, bearing in mind that she was a breakdown, double breakdown, gets one of the breaks back. Okay, so even though she beat Nevada in the previous round, she was having back issues. Do hope we don't have a second retirement today. Obviously, we've had one with Katarina Siniakova earlier. We are back on court. Do you, Ghosty? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, fingers crossed that she's okay. Rybakina misses the first serve. Yeah, she's back out there, yeah. Good depth there from Rybakina. Although she's going to miss the forehand, so love 15. Beat Madison Keys as well, yeah. Incredible run. Second serve for Kartal to look at here at love 15. She was a double breakdown. So close to a double fault there from Rybakina. Elena does miss a lot of first serves. It'd be interesting to know what her percentage is for first serves today. But whereas it doesn't matter if she's at 50% first serves, but her first serves are so good and her second serves are so good and she's not double faulting like Coco does, it doesn't matter so much. Someone like Alex Ayala, for example, with a much more weaker powder puff serve, you're just thinking, listen, get a nice slice out wide and get 70% plus in, and we'll see how that pans out. Getting it below 70%, especially below 60%, and she's in trouble. Coco Gauff, different style. One of the best first servers in the world. One of the best second servers in the world. But double faults a lot. But she takes risks on the second serve. So that's how it is. Yeah, she's not running much, is she? But there's not really been a point yet where I'm sort of really keen to see her being pushed from side to side. Rybakina missing that first serve big style. So second serve here for Kartal to look at. Run around forehand return. Forehand from Rybakina is going to go in the net. 40-30. Backhand here into the forehand of Rybakina. Forehand cross court from Kartal. And the forehand's going to miss from Rybakina, so deuce. Backhand return. Backhand now from Rybakina. Backhand slice here from Kartal. Kartal on the forehand. It's going to go long. Game point for Rybakina. So deuce. Ace down the tee. Advantage Rybakina. Game point here for Elena to get to 5-3. And she takes it after 36 minutes with an ace. Okay, Kartal serving here. She has raced into a 30-love lead thanks to some good serving. Unreturned, 2 unreturned serves so far in this game for Sonay. First serve goes into the net here. So second serve for Rybakina to look at. Double fault, 30-15. Good serve down the tee there from Kartal. Is she going to put this +1 away? I think Rybakina is going to get back in play, is it? Yes, it's going to land in. It's going to be a tricky smash here for Kartal, but she puts it away nicely. 40-15. Oh. But Kartal holds after that really good return that I saw you mention there, Ghosty. Oh. Okay, a medical timeout now for Kartal. So I think she didn't have a medical timeout officially before. Oh, dear. By the way, we had 0.1% of the Filipino population watching the channel for the Alexiana Linda Noskova match. So a medical timeout here for Sonny Kartal. Do let me know in the live chat where you're tuning in from, by the way. I know Ghost is in California. And I'm in Western Germany. Dear me, so I'm just yawning, guys. It's getting just past 1 o'clock here. Okay, back on court now. Rybakina serving at 5-4, but she is love 15. $15 just missed that one. Oh, dearie me. Oh, I hope not, Ghosty. Oh, missed the forehand Rybakina, 15-30. I'm not sure Rybakina punched her. Excuse me. So Rybakina here serving 5-4, 30 all. Misses the first serve, as is often the case with Elena. Forehand to forehand right now, but Kartal is in the tram line, so it's a set point now for Elena Rybakina, the 2023 Indian Wells champion. And of course, the Australian Open champion of this year. Misses the first serve. Second serve here for Kartal to look at. Backhand return from Kartal's missed. 6-4. She wins the first set. Yeah, not sure about Elena's level. I hope that Kartal is okay. Just because of that hip injury that appeared to rear its head in the first set for Sonay. Something that was also apparent in her win over Emma Navarro a couple of rounds ago. She's getting more medical attention right now as well. And she is in some discomfort for sure. She gets more attention to that hip. So, Rybakina one step closer to another Indian Wells quarterfinal. Kartal, is her Indian Wells run going to come to an end? Maybe. Just hope it comes to an end on the court rather than in injury. Excuse me. Got another match to cover after this one. Although it's just the one now, I think. Unlike last night when we had some back-to-back matches that I think were getting underway at this point. Rybakina or Kartal will be playing Pegula in the quarterfinals after Pegula came through earlier today in straight sets over Belinda Bencic. First time that she's beaten Belinda. Previous to today, it was a 4-0 head-to-head. In fact, I think she hadn't even taken a set off until today. But at least she gets a win over her. But she is playing some of the best tennis of her career right now, Jessica. And is she going to have a rematch with Elena Rybakina? They played each other just recently in the Australian Open. They also played each other recently in the WTA finals, I think. So, yeah, a couple of wins for Rybakina over Pegula recently. Second set's about to get underway. Just checking the head-to-head between Pegula and Rybakina. Yeah. So they played each other twice in 3 months. In November, they played each other in Saudi, in the WTA finals, a 3-set win for Rybakina, and then a straight sets win for Elena at the Australian Open. Prior to that, Pegula won in the Mexico WTA finals. That's the one in Cancun at the end of 2023. Kartal serving here, 15 love. What a return from Rybakina. She's hit a few of those today. Okay, into the rally here. Drive volley winner from Kartal is sweet as a nut. 30-15. Okay, into the rally. Backhand into the net from Kartal. 30 all. So I previewed Alcaraz against Cam Noy. I previewed Igor against Svitolina. Am I going to be previewing Rybakina against Pegula at the end of this match? Oh, forehand there, unforced error from Rybakina on the forehand side. So Kartal holds for 1 love. Medvedev is going to be playing the winner of Djokovic and Draper, by the way. Excuse me. Very good. Very good. Yeah, Kartal, no, she's not. Well, she got some attention at the end of that set, Ghosty. But, yeah. I think she had 3 bits. There was one at 5-4. Was that when she got the official? No, 4-1 maybe. Then 5-4. Anyway, she had like an official timeout at some point. Rybakina here serving 15 love. Oh, Pegula is playing very, very, very well. Yeah, that's what made me sure that she would beat Bencic today. Misses the first serve. So a second serve here. Backhand return from Kartal into the backhand of Rybakina. Forehand now into the forehand of Rybakina. Oh, a lovely change of direction there, Elena. 40 love. I do feel ready to hit the sack, Ghosty. But one more match to go. Last night was worse because there was, I think at this stage, they had like 3 matches starting around about 2 o'clock and a lot of straight setters today, by the way. Plus, of course, a retirement. See that second serve from Rybakina? But what a backhand that is from Kartal up the line, 40-15. I'd probably just have a nice little... Well, I might not get a break because Djokovic and Draper will be entering the court in about 40 minutes. So it depends how quick Rybakina is, if she's quick at all. Look at that second serve again from Rybakina, so aggressive. Now she's going to open up the forehand. She's going to miss that. It was the surprising shot of the two. I mean, the obvious one would have been go cross court, but I think she wanted to surprise Kartal. And really, she just had to make it in. But because there's the mental and physical adjustment to pulling off a surprise necessary, I think that's what contributed to the miss. Vukov doesn't look amused. No, we haven't, Ghosty. Serve winners, unreturned serves, great returns, unforced errors. Although we've got a nice rally going on here. Speak of the devil. But it's Rybakina who ends it with a forehand error. So from 40 love, we got a deuce. Rybakina comes into the net with this forehand. And it's not going to be repelled by Kartal. So advantage Rybakina. Good serve down the tee there from Elena. And so she's out of trouble in that game. From deuce, she holds for 1 game all. Elena Rybakina was my pre-tournament pick on the women's side. Discuss. On the men's side, I went for Djokovic. Sorry, Djokovic. What am I saying? I'm getting tired. I went for Alcaraz on the men's side. By the way, I'm very close to the microphone. I'm very quiet right now. It's almost like I'm at Wimbledon or something like that. Okay. That forehand is going to miss from Rybakina. So love 15. 15 love, sorry. Kartal serving. Mm-hmm. So 30 love here for Kartal. the rally here. $30-15, Kartal. Excuse me. Yes, Ghosty. Yep. Backhand cross court here from Kartal is going to win the game. So it's 2-1 change of ends. Time for some promo. Follow Yuki on Instagram. Hey, it's me, Yuki. Of course, you can also follow Talking Tennis on Instagram if you wish. At Talking Tennis TT. Oh, Alcaraz has made some history today, it seems. He's the first man to reach 5 Indian Wells quarterfinals before turning 23. There you go. So there's some history for you. Time has been called. So I'm going to share with you on the screen. I've loved dogs for a long time, Ghosty. It's just a good time to do it. All right. Let's get the score back for you there on the screen. Rybakina is serving at 1-2. Okay. It is a bit pedestrian, isn't it? It is a bit pedestrian, but I'm optimistic that Draper and Djokovic will bring it. I might have to make myself another cup of tea, though, to keep myself going. Especially after the heroics from Carlos Alcaraz and Casper Ruud to some extent in the previous encounter. At the beginning, I did Ghosty, but then I'm afraid I had to. I like her on the furniture, okay? I like her on the furniture, but due to one or two little issues, we had to go no furniture for a little while. But I actually like her because I like having her near. Oh, she's just missed that, Kartal. Love 15. Backhand return is going to go long, so 15 all. $30.15 here for Kartal. It's going to become $40.15. Let's have some broader conversation, shall we? Tennis conversation. What I see today was very interesting. Oh, yeah. Djokovic could have won 30 slams. It was on the Nothing Majors podcast. Now, I'm going to get a pen and paper because I need to see what their working was. So they mentioned, like, if it wasn't for COVID, so if we look at the last, she's going to take some pills, is Sonny, to get rid of that pain. Yeah, I think it's the fourth time, Ghosty. So 30, how? Good question. It was a short little clip on social media, so I didn't see the whole video, but he's obviously on 24 right now. Well, let's begin with COVID, meaning no Wimbledon 2020. And he couldn't play. He didn't play US Open 2020. 2020? Oh, he did play US Open 2020, didn't he? Couldn't play. What US Open? Couldn't play US Open 2022. He played US Open 2020, but that's the one with the ball, with the disqualification, right? So we're just going through this. What I think they said is that if it wasn't for COVID, he would have had 30 slams by now. But then they started adding things to try and get to 30. They were like without Sinner and Alcaraz, I think, as well. But let's just, it began with, let me see if I can find it and let's get the audio. Just a moment. So, what are they called? Nothing Major, aren't they? Let me listen to it again, and I'll play it so you can hear it, hopefully.
I think she's in love with both of them. So Top thinks she's in love with both.
Okay. Maybe it was on TikTok. Let's have a look. Sam Querrey is very funny, by the way, isn't he? Just seeing Rybakina looking pretty comfortable on serve here. Just seeing Alcaraz, by the way. Sorry, Holger Rune progressing in his rehab. Yeah. Right, I'm still trying to find this clip from Nothing Major, by the way. 3-3 between Rybakina and Kartal. Oh, here we go.
Without Alcaraz and Sinner.
Okay, wait.
If you count in the COVID breaks, yes, he has 30.
Without Alcaraz and Sinner, does Novak Djokovic have 30 majors to his name right now?
Yeah.
Last year, semifinals of 4. Start this year, finals of 4. With the COVID breaks, he didn't get to play.
That's most important. But that's not Carlos and Yannick. Yeah, but okay. So you're just saying, what are you saying?
Yeah, what are you
If
saying?
you count in the COVID breaks, yes, he has 30.
Counting the COVID too. Without COVID, without Carlos Yannick, does he have 30?
You got to imagine with the slams he missed in 2020, 2021, we would have won at least 2 of those.
Yeah.
Do we count him hitting the ball person at the US Open? Or
That's another one, but he was there, so that's.
Do we count that? Because he's going to win that.
Count whatever you want, but I think he has 30.
I can see that.
I think he does too. Like as crazy as that is.
I mean, who's beating him? Who's beating him outside of those 2 guys?
No one's beating him. So happy to hit with you. Sorry.
Right, so I need to think about this. I mean, there's so many ifs, buts, and maybes. It's like, if I'd had the genes of Lionel Messi and his upbringing, I'd be Lionel Messi. In fact, even if I just had his genes, probably. Right. If Djokovic had my body, Djokovic wouldn't have won any slams. That's just one thing. Whereas they're going, well, without COVID and then without hitting the woman, with the ball and getting disqualified, and without Yannick and without Carlos, but does he in 2024, does he beat Medvedev in that Australian Open final? I'd make him the favorite. What, 75% chance? Anyway, we'll come to that in a moment. First of all, let's look at 2020. We had no Wimbledon. He won the Australian Open, so that's included in his 24 haul. We had the 2020 French Open that was cold. Oh, my pen is running out. Oh, 30 all here on the Kartal serve. '20 French Open, COVID, the cold one. But he played it and lost in the final to Rafa, so you can't. Oh, I think Rybakina's. No, she's. Oh my goodness, that volley, Kartal. Dearie me. Oh dear, 30-40. If she gets broken here, that volley. I mean, it's not even a 9 out of 10. That's a 98 out of 100. Yeah, she might be, yeah. Discomfort, at least. Let's see if this break point goes which way it does. Look at her, by the way, deuce. And yet she's really in discomfort, yeah. But somehow she's at deuce. Right. and then the 2020 US Open, he played, got disqualified. Okay. 2021. Oh, good passing shot, Rybakina, break point. 2021, he wins AO, so that's included in his haul. He wins Wimbledon, he wins the French Open, and he loses the US Open final, which he plays. So you can't include anything for 2021. 2022, he misses the AO. Okay. 2022, plays the French Open, plays Wimbledon, doesn't play the US Open. I think that's it. So we're looking at, there was no Wimbledon in 2020. Does he win that Wimbledon? Yeah, right, exactly. But then you could give it, what about the Wimbledon of 2020? Are we saying that, just imagine that happens? I think we can give him that. We're just giving him a Grand Slam. Poor old Tsitsipas and Zverev. I'm happy to give him the Wimbledon of 2020. Yeah, exactly. Still 27. I'm happy to give him one of US Open 2020 or Australian Open 2022. Hi, I am Hollywood Popak from Brazil. Regards from Brazil. But I just think that law of averages, he's not necessarily winning them all. So the contenders are Wimbledon 2020, US Open 2020, AO 2022, US Open 2022, right? So there's a Wimbledon, 2 US Opens, and an Australian Open. Even if he wins all 4, he's only at 28, okay? And I think he was in a spell of winning 2 to 3 per year, okay? So give him 2 or 3. But that only puts him at 26, not even close to 30. If we give him all 4, that puts him at 28, right? Then if you say, oh, if there was no Carlos or Yannick, but you're taking lots of ifs, buts, and maybes. By the way, Rybakina has the break 4-3. So she's 2 games away. But then he's at 28, right? No Carlos, no Yannick. Does he win the French Open of 20? Does he win the Australian Open this year? Maybe, probably. He's obviously playing Zverev in the final. I think he'd be the favorite. US Open last year. He probably makes the final and has to play. Oh no. We're going to get a retirement, I think, for Sonay Kartal. Yeah. It's breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Sonay Kartal is retiring. She could barely move for the last few points, and she was down 6-4, 4-3 with a break in favor of Rybakina. But it was just such a stodgy match. And an unfortunate ending. Maybe even a fully fit Kartal wouldn't have won it, but it would have been a much more entertaining affair than it turned out to be. One that lasted an hour and 17 minutes. But it is Rybakina who progresses. Shall we look forward to look, Kartal's waving to the guys. Nice. And Brit's there. Okay. Let's look forward to Elena Rybakina against Jessica Pegula. That is a quarterfinal that's going to be coming up in Indian Wells. And their head-to-head, by the way, is a narrow one, but it's 4-3 in favor of Elena Rybakina. But the last two have both gone Elena's way, and they were big ones. The Australian Open semi-final recently, and just a couple of months before that, the WTA finals. But they were mega close. I mean, I think Rybakina had a break advantage in that Aussie Open second set, but ultimately got taken to a tiebreak. And I had a feeling we were going to go 3 as a result. But Rybakina dug deep and got over the line. The semi-final of the WTA finals, another epic. Rybakina was crushing backhands in that tournament, beating Swiatek, Pegula, and Sabalenka en route to the title. Just epic, and probably the best tennis she's ever played, even better than the tennis she played at Wimbledon in 2022 and then the AO this year. Although she got better and better, didn't she, in Australia, Rybakina? But there's an argument. It needs probably a couple more trophies and maybe even a Grand Slam trophy, but there's an argument that Jessica Pegula is playing the best tennis of her career. Of course, Rybakina is in this round after the injury to Kartal in the previous round. That helped to get through. We're going to hear from Elena now.
I wanted to finish the match, and of course, speedy recovery. It's not easy, this kind of injuries, and it was tough match anyway. But I'm happy that I'm going to the next one.
We gotta ask you, you are just playing some of the most incredible tennis on tour. Congratulations on the WTA finals. Congratulations. Listen, Indian Wells, this is a 2026 Australian Open champion, Elena Rybakina. You've obviously won a Grand Slam before you won Australia, but why do you think your tennis is coming together so well right now?
Well, we've been working well with the team, and I'm happy that last season I managed to turn to a better one and started the year very strong. And of course, each week is different, each tournament is different. I'm just trying to bring the momentum, something good from Australian Open, of course, and hoping to stay here as long as possible.
She's hoping to stay here as long as possible.
So cool, calm, composed on court, what you enjoy doing off court. You said you're an adrenaline junkie, you like roller coasters. I didn't believe it, but maybe something else that we might not know about you that you enjoy doing when you're not playing tennis.
Well, actually, before I used to like all the adrenaline stuff. Now I'm probably getting older, so I like more something calm. And here I enjoy a lot staying in the house. You can cook a little bit. I can also drive here around, which I'm pretty happy with, because previous years I wasn't able. And I think it's a great place to be. For now, I was not doing anything special, but I'm really enjoying my time here.
I'm sorry you brought this up. So if Chef Rybakina was cooking for all of us, what would you be cooking? What would we enjoy?
No, guys, I'm not a chef. Actually, we have a couple of people in the team cooking, but me is simple stuff, some breakfast. I can help with the little things, but I'm not a chef. I need to still learn a lot.
Well, you are definitely cooking up.
And she's going to be cooking up a match against Jessica Pegula in the next round. And let me just back up what I was saying about Pegula's level at the moment and over what I say is the last 7 months since Cincinnati, when she lost to Magdalena in 3 sets. Just listen to this from Jessica Pegula. US Open semi-final. And what a narrow loss that was for Pegula there. Next up, Jessica Pegula went to China, gets to the semi-final and loses to Noskova 8-6 in a 3rd set tiebreak. Okay? But think about it. US Open semi-final, China Open semi-final. Wuhan gets to the final, loses to Coco Gauff in 2 narrow sets. WTA finals, we've just mentioned that one. She beats Gauff, she beats Paolini, before going down in the semi-finals to Elena Rybakina, 6-3 in the 3rd. Rybakina, of course, is going to be our upcoming opponent in Indian Wells. She then gets to the semi-finals in Brisbane, semi-finals in Australia when she loses to Rybakina again, wins the title in Dubai, rocks up in Indian Wells, and wins her 3 matches that she's played here so far against Vekic, Ostapenko, and Bencic. So some stellar opponents en route to this stage. It's just incredible level of consistency and really good level of tennis as well. And it's over 7 months. So, yeah, she's never won a Grand Slam. So you're then looking at, okay, what about tournament victories? She probably needs another trophy or 2 in this spell to really justify this 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 months, whatever period it ends up ending at. If she takes it to Wimbledon, for example, or has her best clay season as well, then yeah, Pegula's definitely on a roll. She's just not winning enough. She's only won 1 title across that period, but she's not failed to make the quarterfinals of a tournament. Every single tournament she's played since August, she's at least made the semi-finals. Every single one. And that's also included 2 Grand Slams, the WTA finals, and now potentially in Indian Wells. But will she make the semi-finals in Indian Wells? Because she's also coming up against the 2 form players possibly. Well, there's probably 3 with Sabalenka as well. It would be interesting to know the win-loss record, actually. I might be able to work it out while we are live, the win-loss record that these players have had, because Rybakina's kind of on a roll since, when was it, probably maybe Ningbo? She wins Ningbo, doesn't she? Let's go to Ningbo for Rybakina. If we look at Rybakina, Sabalenka, actually, I want to go through this. So Ryba has 1, 2, 3, 4-0 in Ningbo. Then into the Japan Open. She wins 2 matches and then withdraws from the tournament, but it's 2-0 because if you withdraw, it's not a loss. She then plays the WTA finals and she wins all 5 matches at the WTA finals. So she ended the year with 11-0 for the last 11 matches of the year. She then plays Brisbane. She wins 2 matches before losing in the quarters to Mukova. So that's 2-1. In Australia, she wins 7 matches, as we know. Then in Qatar, she wins 2 matches before losing to Mboko, someone she's lost to a few times. In Dubai, she wins 1 and loses 1. It's a retirement injury. Through injury against Ruud, but it is an official loss. 1-1. And then in Indian Wells, she's won her 3 matches. So in her last 4, she's won 6, 11, 13, 20, 23, 24, 27 of her last 30 matches. That is Elena Rybakina, okay? Let's swing it back to Jessica Pegula. That's who we're comparing right now. And we'll take her back to the US Open, where she made the semis. So Pegula, US Open, 5-1. China, she wins 4 matches and loses 1, so 4-1. Wuhan, she is 5-1 after losing the final of Coco. WTA finals, she wins 2, loses 2, because she does lose a group stage match as well. Brisbane wins 3, loses to Marta Kostyuk in the semis there, by the way. Australia wins 5, loses 1. Dubai wins the title by winning all 5 of her matches there. 5-0. And then plays Indian Wells, where she's won her 3 matches without losing. So, 5, 9, 14, 16, 19, 24, 29, 32. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Maybe not quite so impressive for her, but still 32 and 7 from her last 39 matches. That is Jessica Pegula's form. As Ghosty suggests, she is on a roll of sorts, but perhaps we were talking about cooking. Well, maybe Elena Rybakina is even on a bigger roll. Do you like that one, people? But now it's time to make a prediction. Is Jessica Pegula going to get to another semi-final? No. I went for Elena Rybakina pre-tournament, knowing that she could and probably would be playing Jessica Pegula in the quarters. I did my draw prediction beforehand on the TNNS app. Do join us, by the way, for that fantasy league. It's a lot of fun. And I went for Rybakina to win the title, and I'm going to stick with that. Despite today's performance not looking great against what was an injured Sonay Kartal, I think we've just done the maths and we've proven that Rybakina is the form player on the tour, winning 27 of her last 30 matches. And I expect her to win her 28th match of the last 31 in her next encounter. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.